I remember during the Miss World year, I chose to tube a lot in London. And once some people would be like, hi, ye bichari, she's Miss World. Mat jaiye. So I'm like, what's with the twitch? That's the brief. You've got to give the twitch and then say the line each time. So it's like, everything is like out there. It's like, Q. So the has to happen in Q. You're like, that's the brief? Okay. And I remember Abhishek and me till date we joke. There's this one bit before some storm breaks out in the Jeep. And he said, ye kudrat ka kya something something. And our eyebrows and eyes, and we were like cracking up. We were like, what are we doing? It's so way out there. You know, I always told Karan that the way you narrated, when I saw the movie, I felt I was watching it the second time because that's exactly the way I saw it when he narrated it. It was brilliant. And he was doing the, he was singing, dancing, enacting, emoting. And even all the little characters in the movie.
Right.
I mean, when I watched it, I had seen the movie already.
It was in college itself that you started modeling and then you eventually went on to become an actor. But you went to Jain College, you studied architecture.
Yeah, my college stories are quite hysterical. I've been to so many colleges, and that's for good reasons. Don't get it wrong. It's not because I had any trouble, believe you me. It had all to do with all the attendance stories. Sorry, I've got to snitch on all of that to the authorities. Because being a science student, science students here? In science students? Guys, you all know now how it rolls? So 11th grade and all that, you want to know that you don't want to be on that blacklist, right? You've got to be able to do your prelims for HSC. So you're finding out which college is not going to be strict with 80% attendance. And I was on borderline Ruparel and happily to walk into Jai Hind and KC. So I was kind of doing the odds. So KC for about a month. Then I hear Jai Hind is suddenly relaxed the rule. So I take all my certificates and go and meet, bless his soul, Shiv Dasani. And I go and tell him, I said, listen, this is where I deserve to be, okay? I need to really get into this college. This is where I should have been to begin with and all of that spiel. And I walked right into Jai Hind, blissed out, completed the 11th, and then I hear he brings up that rule again, 12th, 80% attendance. I'm like, no way. I'm going to be running around doing my classes. I cannot be attending regularly because it's not because you want to bunk, because that's the need of the hour.
Sure.
Science students will agree. So the only year we talk about like you can't attend college, you got to do the classes, only come for practicals and all of that. So then I go to Ruparel. So eventually and then the HSC happens. Now again, I'm on the borderline list to get into the med schools in Bombay and college presumption, that's where I wanted to go and not go outside of the city. So in the meanwhile, I do a month at Xavier's with life sciences. And then in the meanwhile, I gave architecture exams only in 2 colleges, that's JJ and Rachna. I get into Rachna and JJ, go to do the interview only at Rachna. Thank God they accepted me because I didn't go to the JJ interview. And this is my story. So eventually when I come into movies, I meet a whole lot of people who say, you were in my college. And it's embarrassing because I've been to so many colleges.
What was the final count?
I've been everywhere.
What was the final count?
I don't know, I didn't do the maths. So I mean, yeah. So if you ever hear I've been in all these colleges, I have. It's true.
And for good reasons.
But these are my reasons for it. That's my student story. I remember during the Miss World year, I chose to tube a lot in London. And once some people would be like, hi, ye bichari, she's Miss World. I mean, you know, you're like, no, they're not making me slum out. I'm choosing to do this. So it's not about being treated less better. But I wanted to do that. I was a collegiate the night before, man. So you're kind of saying, oh, wow, I'm now living in London for a year and this is what I want to do. And very often I kind of, in fact, yeah, so I kind of got Abhishek a little used to also doing the black cab, if we can. Or I said, let's just do a cab. And then this time I wanted to do like the bus. And I want to do all this with Aradhya, and I will. So one day if you see some picture of me going on one of those open-top buses, yeah, very happily, because I have done the bus and the train and everything as a college kid here.
She actually chose to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it as a college kid. I've done the trains. I know exactly what it gets like at the other station. And I know what it is like in buses. And I know the rainy season is just not the easiest at all on public transport. So I've done all that.
like Aradhya is ready to see you go to work?
Well, I use a very normal term. I go to office.
Right.
That's been happening all through Aradhya. You're going to Google this at some point in time and crack up. But Mom's been honest with you. Mom goes to office. I'm a working mom like every other. And I go to office. So, yeah, she's kind of embraced that concept now because, like I said, I've been doing it all through, albeit very, very sporadically.
Right.
When I've traveled, I get ready in the suite itself. So she kind of is familiar, I think. The definition of office might be a little confused,
Right.
but she'll realize office is in my family. Come on, I mean, all of us are in showbiz.
Correct.
So she'll kind of understand that that's work too, because it is. We're part of an industry, we work, we go to an office. So yeah. Oh my God, Abhishek and me have hammed through that movie. We keep saying, what are we doing here? I mean, some of the scenes were like so way out, and today, I mean, forget today, down the years also when we look at it, we used to be like, really?
Did you know it while you were doing it?
Yeah, a bit, because that's a brief. I mean,
Right.
my character's brief. Now you can watch it as one of those party things, if you do, as a comedy, because my brief was the thought first occurs to you, and then you say the line. So I've got to do, mat jaiye. So I'm like, what's with the twitch? That's the brief. You've got to give the twitch and then say the line each time. So it's like everything is like out there. It's like, Q. So the has to happen in Q. You're like, that's the brief? Okay. And I remember Abhishek and me till date we joke. There's this one bit before some storm breaks out in the Jeep. And he said, ye kudrat ka kya something. And our eyebrows and eyes, and we were like cracking up. We're like, what are we doing? It's so way out there. It's so way out.
Can was like playing dress up from her perspective.
Sure.
Right? For me, so she's
Yeah.
seen Mama play dress up.
Right.
So I was like, now she's aware. So let me just take a few things, and I would just like play dress up with her in the room.
Correct. And if she feels like it,
No. At no point in time did I think we'd step
we'd walk,
down.
right? Okay.
So on day one, we played dress up, fooled around
Yeah.
because the team she's met over the years, and we're all like a reunion of family and friends there. And on the second day, she was just like, "Mom, can I come and drop you to the car?"
Nice.
That's all it was. Mama, can I
Right.
come and drop you to the car? So I was like, in her mind, she's just dropping me to the car. So that's fine. So I was like, yeah, all right, let's do it.
Right.
And there she was walking me to the car is what she thought. And then she said, I'll come until there. And I was like, yeah, okay, just come in the car until there. So it was as normal a moment as that.
Right.
But then again, I'm sure for the world, it was like she's come with you.
Yeah.
So.
Hrithik Roshan, Sanjay Leela Bhansali and you are each individually known to be very meticulous workers. Never quite satisfied until you have done several takes. Tell me, on this film, the three of you working together, how many takes per scene?
So I don't think, I would beg to differ a bit, going by my experiences with Sanjay and my experiences with Hrithik. And coincidentally, yes, this is a third film with Sanjay, a third film with Hrithik. So my fifth film, I think, altogether. But in that sense, I don't think it's ever been about the number of takes for us. It's been about the moment. We are about spontaneity. We are all not about over-rehearsing. So actually, we don't like too many takes.
Ash, which was the first Hindi film that you made a special appearance in?
Oh man. Mela.
That's right. Mela is correct.
I did that actually also because Aamir and me had done a commercial, had done a Pepsi commercial. Later on we did Coke commercials. We did our first world tours. I did my first world tour with him as a group of us, actors. And I remember after the world tour, we had all become really, really close. And he said that, you know, there's this movie, just one shot at the end. But it's not with me.
It's on a
It's with my
swing.
brother. No, he said
Right.
it's not with me, it's with my brother, Faisal. And the quiet rebel that I am, I was like, then I'm most definitely going to do it.
unpredictable is a word that one would like to use to describe your career. You started at a time when you had...
acceptable that is, because people are like...
And at a time when it wasn't really, you know, when unpredictable was not necessarily a good word. It was a dangerous word. Why would you start with a Tamil language film when you've got every top filmmaker, right, and the kind of work?
And why aren't you just taking the safe, the co-stars that will give you those box office hits and just out there, you know, tread the traditional and enjoy the fruits? Yeah, I didn't do that. Today, I'm so glad on it.
It's true.
Not
It's foresight. It's seen as
that. I would have loved to have those films in my bio as well.
Sure.
But
that unpredictability is still there, Ash. Whether it's doing a film like Ae Dil Hai Mushkil last year, which was a great role. It was a great role, and
you were the first interview when I signed on, and he took it.
We chatted, right? Yeah. I was like,
yeah.
That's exactly what one would like to see you do. And you were so good in it. You were great in it.
It was a great year because you had Sarabjit on one
That's
end
right.
and Ae Dil Hai Mushkil on the other, and both are like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
And what's she choosing?
Yeah.
But I'm glad on it, and I'm thankful to my audience. I mean, while I'm to my directors, because like when some people are like, they'll still be discussing can she act or can't she act, and I'm like, you know, don't question some of the best directors of our country, because I don't think they'd risk their scripts or their production.
Right. Just because she's beautiful. Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, thank you very much for all the visual compliments.
Right.
But obviously, I've worked hard with my directors to be able to put forth the substance. And by my choices, it's become, I mean, I'm sure it's obvious now that that's extremely important to the student of cinema.
Yeah.
And there's still so much I want to do, and my directors get it, my audience gets it, and I'm blessed for that.
Correct.
You know, I always told Karan that the way you narrated, when I saw the movie, I felt I was watching it the second time, because that's exactly the way I saw it when he narrated it. It was brilliant, and he was doing the he was singing,
full music
dancing, enacting, emoting. And even all the little characters in the movie.
Right.
I mean, when I watched it, I had seen the movie already. So Karan and me have been meaning to work together so many times, and now he said it himself publicly, so I can say it.
Why
And
did
it's
it
amazing.
have to be Instagram first? Because you didn't have to say anything. You just was that it?
No, I didn't know. It just felt right. It just felt right, you know. And at the time that I decided, I said, all right, I'm going to do it. It was May. And of course, people said, oh, so now she's doing it, now it's around Cannes. I said, well, I have material.
Correct, yeah.
Logically.
I mean, natural,
Yeah. And
that peacock dress. Do you remember that trail?
That apart, you know. I mean, I just thought that, okay, this is a good time.
Yeah.
It's summer. It's real, it's topical, and from here on we'll see how it rolls.
And that insider sort of eye at Cannes, I mean, we never get that, right? Otherwise,
So I just thought like I'll kind of do it that way, and I have. And yes, you're right. There have been there were opinions that trickled in, and they said, "But what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm on Instagram." Yeah, but like, what are you doing about it? Like, where's your team? And you can have the works.
Do you do it yourself? Do you post yourself?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then people go like, yeah, we get it, the emoticons. I'm like, well, that's me. You know, and so, but why don't you write something? And I'm like, if I want to, or if I feel the need to, but why? Sometimes the pictures just said what it has to say. I mean, what other saga am I going to write around it? And when I want to, I'll write a saga. I mean, it's as simple as that. And so she's really into a kid. She's into emoticons. Yeah. And maybe that's me too. I enjoy it. It's kind of sweet and cute. And let them create some more, and we'll have a variety. But if this is what we have, this is what I choose.
Already.
You know. So it's as simple as that. I mean, I think the kind of sparkles are saying it, or the rainbow is saying it, or a hug is, or hearts are love. What more am I going? Simple. And yeah, then I got feedback, and someone said, "You're putting up like a low-res pic," and I'm like, yeah, your best friends are photographers. I mean, you can really get fabulous stuff. Do you know people walk around with teams and they have like professionals around them, and you are you? And I'm like, yeah. So why are you like behaving like a pleb in front of the whole world? And I'm like, because this is not yet another magazine release. This is not yet another film release. I mean, that's all happening on the professional turf.
Correct.
And if I want a professional site, I'll start a professional site. I did not know this is meant to be that. Maybe it is. I don't know, but I didn't regard it that. I
No.
don't think that's the way any of you doing it. And if the whole idea is I'm one of you, then I'm one of
I think
you,
the people
right?
that we love following are the ones who are having fun, right?
I'm one of you,
You don't
so I'm
wanna-
gonna
you don't
do
wanna
it like
feel
one of
You don't want to
you.
feel like what you're watching is stuff that's being sent to you by some manager,
No, and if it's all perfectly
publicist.
put out
Right,
there,
right.
then I'm just saying that, okay, listen, I have access. But you don't, and you're all kind of doing it the way you are. So it's really as simple as I'm doing it like all of you, and sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be rank average, but that's it, you know.
Right.